everybody is doing good. It's Debbie, and you are on Spooky Things. We have an amazing guest tonight, Sonia. I have been so excited. I really have. Everybody, I'd like you to meet Sonia Thompson from The Walking Dead. Oh, The Walking Dead. Yay.
Well, Debbie, thanks for having me on tonight. I've been looking forward to this, so this is great.
Are you kidding? It's my pleasure so very much. You are so much fun. You really are.
I try.
So, you don't even need to try. You're just fun. I see all your minions behind you.
Yeah, I hand paint all these zombie elves on the shelf, and they're different colors, different ones. I tell everybody they're gender neutral, but some may be girls, some may be boys. I don't know. I haven't checked. I don't know how to check on the elf, but anyway, um, but yeah. So I also do hand paint porcelain dolls and turn them into zombies as well. So, but these elves are $25, and that includes shipping and handling anywhere in the United States of America. If you want anything in Europe,
So cute.
it'd be a little bit extra. So, but I will ship them there.
So cute.
And
Absolutely
that's
so
me on the
cute.
shower curtain right here. So,
That's you?
yeah, let me see if I can get it to. There it is.
There you are. Yep.
Yep, yep.
And
So,
that picture is like so recognizable now after these years.
hmm
I mean, as soon as I see that picture, it's like, oh, there's Sonia.
yep. I mean, hey, I mean, people say, "Oh, there's Sonya." So, yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I
that
mean,
is
exactly.
well. And the cool thing about this is even with the makeup, you can tell it's me. Some
Yes, you can.
like on Zombieland, the makeup I had in that movie was so grotesque and everything. You couldn't tell really that was me. But in this,
You can.
that's it's a minimum amount, but it's a lot, but it's just enough to where I'm still humanized, but yet I'm zombified. So it's kind of cool to have something that I'm still recognizable in.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Had to get it right. I was like, wait a
There
minute. Okay, wait.
it is.
It's like, which way in my head?
But it's cool. It really is. To see you do it, it's like, yeah, that's it. That's his right there. So, what got you started into this?
I've been in film and TV since 2007,
Mm,
and it wasn't until I think it was around 2008 or 9 I did a zombie role in a little independent movie called Night of the Jackals. It was filmed right there in Atlanta, Georgia, and the Stone Mountain area, all that. And I had a lot of fun on that night. That was pretty crazy. They were using their fake blood consisted of like maple syrup or something and honey or something and food coloring. And my joke was at the end of the night when it was time to get in the shower and get all that off, that it stuck so much I had a uniboob. So, but it was a lot of fun that night doing. That was my first time doing zombie being a zombie on in a movie. And so so anyway, the next I told the casting agency I'd been working with, I'm like, hey, I played a zombie last night, the past few nights and stuff for this little independent. If you guys ever get any zombie roles, let me know because I had a really good time doing it. And so I got an audition. They got me an audition with Zombieland, and I did that and got the role. And the director was so impressed with me that he used me. He called me in for some zombie training. That's all I knew when I got there. It was actually a Zombieland training video that all the zombies had to
wow.
watch, the actors had to watch in order to be in the movie. And so that part of that did make it to the Zombieland DVD, and it's In Search of Zombieland. And you skip over, fast forward like rule number 3, and you'll see me. and I'm making faces like weird, faces in a mirror and stuff. And then also, you see us standing around, you see us doing certain things, sitting with the director, talking about things, and then they show a couple of pictures of how they were basing their zombies and what kind of diseases they were kind of trying to incorporate in making their zombies look realistic. And when they
Uh-huh.
showed my picture, they happened to say mad cow disease and syphilis. So I kind of joke about how many people can actually say that they've been compared to syphilis and mad cow disease in one sentence.
Exactly, and how
I bet
did
it's
you
just
get
me.
both of those?
How did I get both of those? I don't
Yeah,
know,
think
but
about it. How somebody had to have had a rough night or a very fun night.
I, I was in the, on The Walking Dead, I ended up in the back seat of the car. So I keep trying to wonder, well, why was I in the back seat, in the car, But um, everybody's like, "Do you have
That's
a
how you got
backstory? What's your
syphilis.
backstory?" but, but anyway, two different movies, but I'm sure it transitioned somewhere. Um,
Yeah,
but but yeah, so that was really cool though. That I made it to the behind the scenes stuff, and my scene was deleted in that
that's
movie,
cool.
but it is on the DVD called Ziploc Bags, and that was kind of those days were shorter on set than like The Walking Dead. Um, on Zombieland, it was like a 6-hour work day, when I would go and work there. And I remember the director, we were trying to figure out a better way for me to take the guy down. And he's like, "Come on, just come at me." And I'm like, "Are you sure? I've got brothers. You want me to tackle you?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, you're asking for it." So I went ahead and I tackled him. And he's like, "Okay, we're not going to do that." So
On second thought,
yeah, so that didn't happen, but that was a cool movie to work on. I really enjoyed. That's one of
I
my
bet.
better, more favorite zombie roles that I've done was on Zombieland. But then the next year is when I got the email from the same casting company, and they said, "Hey, you've been chosen as a zombie on this TV
Wow,
series called The Walking Dead." And I was like, "Okay." So I had to go to zombie school, and in zombie school they sized us for our lenses, for our contact lenses, and wardrobe, and we had to do a lot of different movements, and that's how they chose. It was like, to me, it was like one huge audition, because out of the 150 zombies, they had to choose the 20 main hero zombies, and I happened to be one of those. And then they chose 8 or 9 of us to be promotional models, and I happened to be one of those. And then out of the promotional model shoot, there was only 4 of us that was chosen to be pictured with the main cast in comic book issue 75 and on a lot of other stuff. And that's this picture behind me right here of Larry Mainland and myself. And we were 2 of the 4 that were chosen. The other 2 was
so
Melissa
cool.
Cohen, that was Bicycle Girl, and Alyssa Grun. And so we were the only 4 that were chosen to be pictured with the main cast. So
That
that's
is
the
so
reason
cool.
I ended up on so much stuff, is because of those promotional photos. And really and truly, people know me more from the promotional photos than they do from my roles that I did on the show. Um, but my zombie image has traveled more than I have. So, you know, but it's still pretty cool. It's surreal.
It's wonderful. Absolutely. I mean, you didn't just get there. To you took it all the way to the end. I mean, that's just great. That's just fabulous.
Yeah.
Um,
And I was just gonna say, and the things that have came from it. I mean, I'd already done a lot of movies and TV shows before I did The Walking Dead. A lot of
mhm,
people don't realize that I'm an actress. I'm a model. So I've had lines and stuff, and I continue to have lines, and I have produced, I have directed, I've done a lot of different things. But um this did open up some doors for me that I didn't have before The Walking Dead. And even these zombie elves. Would I have been able to have done these? You know, yes, I could have done them, but they probably wouldn't be selling as well. I don't know. I mean, they might, but would I have thought about doing it? Probably not.
yeah,
So same way with my porcelain dolls that I turn into zombies. that I enjoy. I'm an artist, so I enjoy doing things like that. But I probably wouldn't have ever been painting zombie dolls otherwise. So
But
it's actually
they're
opened up
just
a lot
so
of venues.
unique.
Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, they are so unique.
And they're
I
all
want.
numbered. Yeah, I'm sorry, I
Are
didn't
they
mean to
all
interrupt.
numbered? No,
Yeah,
no.
they're all
There's a
numbered.
little there's a little bit of a delay, so we're both like, oh, oh.
Yeah, yeah. But these are on the butt of these is all S. Thompson, and they've got numbers on them. You
Oh,
can't see. Yeah,
yeah, his
and then
butt is numbered.
yeah, and then every porcelain doll is numbered and signed by me. And you get the porcelain dolls that I turn into zombies. You actually get a thank you card and an autographed trading card of me. So you actually get my signature like 3 times, and they're only $75 with a free shipping in the United States in America. So um, I try to give people more for their money, and the fact that they're numbered and signed by me, that makes it, more collectible.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Just the fact that you did it yourself, that you
Mhm.
created them. That is just so, so, so cool. I definitely want, for sure, I want one of your little elf dolls back there.
Score!
Yeah. Yeah. See? See how easy the sale was?
I know, right?
And I
I
just,
did.
yeah.
I, I found a Harley Davidson baby doll last year that I turned into a baby Negan, and everybody wants one now. But I can't get these. I just can't go and get these baby Harley dolls. They got the little leather vest on them and the do-rag on them and a diaper. And what I did is I had a friend of mine that's a woodworker make a bat, and then I painted barbed wire around it, and then I took a couple paper clips, and I rolled those around those, and then I put blood on it and fixed them up. And so I put it in his hand and glued it to his hand and stuff, and called him Baby Negan.
That is so cute. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just want you to pick one out and send it. We'll talk about it after the show, but I
Okay.
just want you to pick one out for me,
Okay.
and that that one right there. But y- y- like you were saying though, you've had a lot of different diverse things that you've done. It's not just the zombies that you've done. You've done a lot of other. Now I know that you've had acting roles, speaking roles. You've had quite a few of those as well.
Yes, I have. I had a co-starring role in the movie Lawa All Saints Eve. We filmed that up in Nashville, Tennessee, and so I was up there for about 3 months. Well, actually, it was 3 months total that I was up there. And now, granted, I would drive home some, and then I'd go back up there some. It was kind of a back and
Uh-huh.
forth type thing, but there was times I'd stay up there for 4 or 5 days at a time, and um, I mean, that was pretty cool to work on. And it was a voodoo based movie, and we were on a swamp tour. And so the guy who played my husband in it was Bob Cousins, and he and I were ex-military. So he was taking me on this swamp ghost tour type thing, and so it ended up not going very well for everybody, but I did a lot of my own stunts in it. It was a lot of fun. I've done my stunts on other movies and stuff as well. But it was really neat getting pulled across a field with, they had like a four-wheel drive that was pulling us across the field, and it was supposed to be this tree wolf that had gotten us and
Oh,
was
cool.
pulling us. And so that was pretty interesting to be able to do that kind of stuff. Um, and then we filmed up in Northwest Tennessee at Reelfoot Lake. That looks a lot like the swamps and stuff of New Orleans and Louisiana. And so it was it was neat being up there for that. And we filmed next door to Louise Mandrell's property, and we used her
Oh,
house
okay.
as she allowed us to use her house for base camp and makeup and wardrobe. And so it was. I grew up in the '70s, so the Mandrell sisters that was a show that I watched growing up. So I felt
Yes.
honored to get to meet her. To me, that was country music royalty. and she is just the sweetest soul on earth. I mean, she is a sweetheart. She is fantastic. I enjoyed talking to her. I enjoyed sitting with her. Her little granddaughter was just the sweetest thing ever, and she was just such a good hostess of us being there, and I'll never forget that moment. That was one of my most memorable movies that I've worked on that I enjoyed doing, and I've been in other ones. Like there was another movie up in Greenville, South Carolina that I worked on with William Baldwin, Danny Trejo, John James. That was
Wow.
on the original Dynasty. As a matter of fact, I think I had posters of him up in my locker when I was in high school. Uh, and there was a Johnny Alonso from One Tree Hill and Dawson Creek that was
Oh,
in that, and he's a dear friend of mine. And Patrick Burnett, which is another dear friend of mine, Scott Ham from General Hospital. So it was a lot of names, and I
yeah.
had two really awesome roles and two awesome scenes in that, and that's on Tubi right now. It's called The Lost Day, and you can watch it for free there. So it's a pretty neat movie. And then I was in a movie with Kevin Sorbo called This Old Machine. It was filmed here in Northeast Georgia, and some in Northwest Georgia. It just so happened they were filming like maybe just up the road from me here. But then when it came to my scene, I had to drive 2 hours, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Um,
Right?
but I had one of the lines in that movie was, "Every whisper is a scream in this town," and that just it's iconic. I just love it. And it was in the trailer. That was in the trailer for it. But and I did a movie called All Saints See All Hallows Evil, All Saints Eve is what it was, I believe. And that was filmed here in Georgia as well. And I had a co-starring role in that as well. So, and The Lumber Baron in Jasper County, I was in 2 seasons of that. And it's a comedy. And I got to play me a redneck in that. And I was a tomboy. So I got to tell Cletus Jr., put that shark down. So so I just thought about some of the family reunions that I go to, and I just channeled
Fit
my
right in.
family, and I was able to do a great redneck. Yeah,
Yeah, but
but
bless
yeah,
her
I've
heart,
done
a
some cool
family
stuff
with
though.
a cousin named Cletus.
you
You gotta have a
and that's the
Cletus in
odd
the
thing. I think
family.
we had a Bubba. I think we might have had a Bubba, but I don't think we had a Cletus. Yeah, so
Yeah, a Cletus would be really cool.
wouldn't it though? It'd be really neat. Hey, Cletus, get your butt over
Hey,
here.
Cletus!
I got some. Come here, Cletus. I got something to tell you. Get on over here.
Oh, that's great. I wish I had a Cletus in the family.
When did? Oh yeah, I don't believe I've got a Cletus, but I do have.
I
I
don't
think we
have
got
a
a Bubba
Cletus.
maybe. So.
We don't even have a Bubba. I, I'm sorely missing it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, no.
you need a Bubba. At least a
I
Bubba. If
need
you
a
don't have a
Bubba.
Cletus, yeah, if you don't have a Cletus, you gotta have a Bubba.
One would think. Oh, now, now I feel like I've missed out in life.
I think you have. I
Yeah,
think you totally
I
missed out.
do. Dang, man, I gotta go out and find me a Bubba.
Go find you a
So,
Bubba.
a Bubba. I need a
A
Bubba.
Bubba. Hey, Bubba. What's up, Bubba? I can talk like I started doing Bart Simpson many years ago. Hello, I'm the Birdman. Do we have you?
Oh,
Tell you awesome, man. What is
oh
up
my
with this,
God,
Daddy?
it's good. Oh my God, that's really good.
Oh, thank you. I
Maybe
appreciate
that,
that.
no problem. That's funny.
I'm multi-talented.
Oh, yes, you are. It's hard to keep up with you there, Sonia.
I have a hard time keeping up with myself. I'm like, okay, what day
Oh
is
my God. Oh wow. Well, I tell you, it's when I follow your Facebook along, it's like you're always doing something. You're always on the go. You're always going here, going there. I couldn't believe it that when you what was it? What's the name of when you were in the Netherlands? Ultrek? Ul, ul, ul,
Yeah. Ultric. Yeah.
Ultric.
Yeah.
Ultric. I honestly, my best friend in high school lives there
Oh
with her
wow.
husband. Yeah, her husband Gerald.
Uh huh.
And when you were, I was like, oh my God, who would think?
That
She's
would
an
have been awesome
Ultric.
to have met her.
I know, I know. And it was such a, I saw that you were there, and I didn't have enough time to get in touch with Karen to say, oh, you got to go over there and meet, you'll love her. She's great.
Oh, that would have
And
been
then by the
awesome.
time it would have been, and by the time I would have gotten a hold of her, I think you guys had already had gone. I think you were there for like, what, a week?
Well, actually, no. I was in the Netherlands for 3 weeks, spending with my
Three
daughter lives
weeks.
in Tilburg, which is about an hour from Utrecht, and
Okay.
so I was there for 3 weeks. So when I go over there, I usually go for at least 3 weeks, sometimes three and a half
Beautiful.
weeks. Yeah.
Absolutely
So
beautiful.
thank you. I wanted to go do
Oh,
more. I've been wanting to go to see a castle, and the past 4 or 5 times I've been in Europe, I've driven by a couple and seen some abbeys and stuff, but not really a real castle. And I found out that after we got home that night from Utrecht, I'm almost having a hard time now. I looked on the site and saw that they had a freaking castle, and I looked at my daughter and I was like, seriously, seriously, there was a castle
we
there,
were right there.
and which we were doing stuff for my granddaughter, but it was just like there was a castle. Every time my mom has been over there to visit, they take her to a castle. And that's the one thing on my bucket list that I want to do. So I'm just going to have to plan a trip where I'm
You
not
were
going to
right
go see
there.
them and just go see castles.
That'll show
That's right. They'll take no like, next time if I say I want to do something, dang it. Which they kept telling me. My son-in-law was like, "Well, just you can walk down to the bus down there, and you take the bus to the next town over, the next village over, rather, and then you can get on the train there and go anywhere you want." And I'm like looking at him like, "Yes, you're going to send your mother-in-law that has anxiety on a bus in a foreign country, not knowing the language, and I don't even have cell phone service. Are you wanting to get rid of me?" You know? He says it's easy. And I'm like, yeah, you grew up doing this. I grew up in rural Georgia where I didn't even get in a taxi cab till I was like 30. And I've only done that maybe 2 or 3 times. And I've only Ubered once. So you want to send me on this little journey, and I'm not going to. He says, well, some of the coffee houses have Wi-Fi, and you could use your phone that way. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, sure. So there was times I just sat at the house while they were at work or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, what do I go do? So I'd go walking.
nice if there was a castle around here somewhere.
It's an hour away, but we did go to the. I did think it was kind of. I guess on the day that I went to the concentration camp, I could have, if I had known the castle was that close, we could have went and done that instead. But we went to the concentration camp instead, and I'd always wanted to do something like that too. So
Yeah.
that was heavy. That was very heavy.
Yeah, I
A
don't
lot of
know if
energy
I could
there.
do it. Oh, I don't know if I could do it. I honestly, I don't know if I can do it.
It was.
Um,
I didn't know if I could years ago, but I felt like I was in a better place to do it this time. And so, and this was not one of the kill camps, even though they still killed about 800. I think they executioned about 800 people there. And there's probably other people that died of
God,
illness and sickness because they were treated so badly there and malnutritioned and everything. So there's no telling what the true number of people that actually died there. Um, but it was one of those. I mean, they still had the incinerations, and where they would. Anyway, it was. I picked up on a lot of the energies and stuff. Um, it was still pretty heavy, the emotional energies and stuff. So it's crazy.
I don't even think I could. I mean, I went to the St. Augustine, Florida, and I went to
The fort.
the Fort Castillo,
Uh huh.
and me being of Creek descent, Native American descent, I had an extraordinarily difficult time there. And I remember being down where they were keeping the natives, and I felt like I had all this coming down on me.
Hmm.
It was like it was coming down on me, and I was like, "Stop! Stop! 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 Stop!" Okay. And it's like I had so many people coming at me and like talking at
Yeah.
one time, and the misery was just so impactful. I couldn't stay in there. I
Um,
had to remove myself from the room. So that 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 was so. I think me going into a place like that, I honestly don't think I would be able to do it. So I give you kudos. I don't think I could have done it. A castle,
yeah.
on the other hand, that I can do.
Yeah, but
Castles
it would still be heavy too, depending on the history, you know, because
downstairs. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, because that was a lot of these castles. I mean, gosh, I've been watching this
yeah.
show called British Castles or something other, and this guy's been going around and talking about some of these castles and what happened there, and I'm like, holy crap, I don't know if I can walk there or not, you know, but it'd still be pretty cool. I deal with it, but I've been to the fort on Tybee right there at Tybee Island. I went to the fort. There's another smaller fort. I think it's called Fort Jackson or something before you get into Tybee Island, Georgia, in Savannah, and I've been to both to those. I've been to the one in St. Augustine. St. Augustine has a lot of heavy energy anyway. Um, you
Those.
know, it really does, especially near that the oldest house, you know, that's haunted there. And I just didn't even get near that was kind of yeah, it was crazy. So there, I didn't even go in the lighthouse when I was on Tybee Island
I
or well, not
Yeah,
on Tybee Island, but in St. Augustine.
yeah. I didn't either. I. It's just certain things that I can, and most things I can do, but I got to really prepare myself for it. When I went into the fort, I went in with my family, and I foolishly really didn't prepare myself for it. So I went just wandering on in there like, all the other tourists do. And it was like, blah. As soon as I got in there, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? Well, what I've done is I've done nothing. And that's why I'm in this situation I'm in right
Yeah.
now. And so, yeah, I couldn't stay in there. But a lot of people don't know this, but I grew up in Europe.
Oh,
I
cool.
didn't Yeah, I didn't even come to the United States until we were like, I think I was 12, and my sister was like 1 year older than me. And that's when we finally came over here and stayed over here. And but we grew up in Germany. My
Cool.
mom was 100% German, and all of her family is still there.
Mhm.
And I've got wonderful relatives over there. And
What
my
part of
dad,
Germany? Okay, it froze.
funky. We'll wait till she comes back.
Yeah, you froze on me too. So, uh, are we here now? Hello? Still freezing? Hello, hello.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
back.
Okay.
I
You
need
just keep
Sonia back.
freezing. Yeah, you keep freezing on me. You there now? Hello?
Okay. Well, Sonia is bound to be back here really soon. Hey, Stan, if you're there. Well, he's always there. I've lost Sonia. Um, So anyway, oh,
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 uh,
there you are.
I don't know what happened. I'm using my phone, my cell phone, because my internet's always in and out here. So I don't know, but you keep freezing on me.
Do I? I don't know what's up with this internet over here. It's aggravating.
Yeah,
Um,
it's aggravating
but
here too at times. Freezing I'm on my cell phone instead.
yeah, I think I'm going to have to start doing that. I really do because it's just this is crazy. But yeah, yeah, we grew up. My mom was 100%. I just lost her in
Right.
September. September the 28th. I lost my mom. My dad was Creek Indian, 100% Creek Indian.
Neat.
Hi, everybody. Yeah. So it was really interesting growing up in a household where your mom is pure German and your dad is pure Native American. And you're like, if I'm screwed up, that's y'all's fault. That's on, that's on you. So, but my mom was great because she used to have Mandelas and Biersteins all up on the same wall.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
She was awesome. She really was. She really know how to go with the flow of everything. But yeah, so while we were over there, we toured. Our vacations was touring Europe.
Hmm.
So Italy, France, I mean, you name it. We were everywhere in the Netherlands. We were everywhere there.
Okay.
So I get so jelly whenever I see so and so's over in Europe and they're in this country or that. I'm like, oh, it's so cool over there. Oh, I know I'll
Yeah.
never make it back over there, but I'm glad I went when I did.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be going back. I mean, I like, Ireland and Scotland's on my list. In Germany, I want to go back to some of my ancestors on my grandmother's side was from Germany in the northern part, and
Hmm.
very little German, but I do have I'm 5% German, per
Hey,
ancestry.com, and Native American didn't show up on my thing, but Asian did, and I don't know if you saw the picture I posted of my grandmother, but she had a lot of the Cherokee Indian
yes,
in her. And so my brother's
yes.
actually, yeah, my dad, my dad, I lost him 2 years ago, and he was dark skinned, black hair, and so is my little brother. But my mom's redheaded, fair complected, so I got her genes mainly. Um,
Hmm.
but I do have a Native American in my family, and I was going to bring that up because I've noticed that a lot of over the years, I've talked to a lot of people that had like Native American backgrounds or in their family. They are the ones that have more of the psychic type abilities, the intuitive, the
Yes,
clairvoyance, I'm not saying that it's, eh, you know, but I would say 8 times out of 10 when I talk to somebody and find out that they've got some heritage of Native American, they have these qualities, gifts. And sometimes I wonder how that ties in, but I just think it's very interesting that those gifts have been passed down, maybe.
I yes. I think that a lot of it comes from the fact that Native American families are historically known to teach their children all about who they are, what they are, their heritage, and what all it entails. Um, my dad was pretty good at it, but it wasn't until we were a little bit older that he did. Um, but yeah, yeah, it my mom actually was very very clever. We never really knew it growing up with her, but as we got older, we could see it that she
Hmm.
was very sensitive. She wasn't until she was in her 60s before she let us really know what she could actually do. And it was shocking. My dad, on the other hand, taught us from really when we were quite young. My grandmother also did. My She used to come and visit us and stay with us, and she used to teach us things when mom and dad weren't home. We never told mom and dad, uh, but she was pretty cool. There's a funny story about my grandmother. You're going to love this one, Sonia.
Okay.
We were visiting her, And swear to God, she was the old Native American lady sitting there rocking in her rocking chair, smoking her corncob pipes. True story. She loved them. She was just sitting there and smoking the pipe, and she had these roosters running around. And she said, she spoke with this drawl, "Y'all youngins now, you don't be messing with that rooster. He gets you. Don't be messing with that rooster." And we're like, "Ah, it's a chicken. What can a chicken do? Chicken can do a lot." Well, so of course she's sitting there, she's smoking that pipe, and here comes my sister hauling ass around the house, being chased by a rooster who's hauling ass right behind her. And I'm thinking it's a great game, so I'm running behind the chicken, probably egging him on to run behind my sister. So she never moved. She's just sitting there and she's smoking that pipe. Every time we go around the house, she goes, "I told y'all." We come around, "Not to chase that chicken." And we're like,
Oh
"We
my
ain't
god.
chasing him. He's chasing us." As quick as lightning. We came around that one last time. She barely budged. She just reached out, snatched that rooster by the head, did this with her, threw it over her shoulder knife. She goes, "Tell your mama we're having chicken tonight."
That's awesome.
And we're like, "Yes, ma'am, Granny."
That's great. Oh my god.
She it's like she didn't even budge an inch.
Wow. And
Like,
they didn't think about that kind of stuff. I mean, like my grandmother was real tough. I mean, she was push mowing her grass at age 92. And,
mhm,
so that's where I get a lot of my I guess my spunkiness from is her, because she was a go getter. She didn't let nothing hold her back. She just kept going and going. My dad did that too, and my whole family's always been like that. We've always been hard workers and just not thought that much doing certain things and that's cool. That's really cool. Great
it
story.
is. It's memories like that that are just absolutely phenomenal. But my dad, he was a he was an amazing seagoing person, although he was in the Air Force. And but he had his little boats, and he used to do racing schooners and boats and stuff like that. And he carried it on later on in life. And when he got out of the service, I mean, kept it going from there. My dad was an adventuresome individual. Even his last one of his last words to me before he passed was, "I don't want you to be sorry. I don't want you to be crying." Of course, we did. But I don't want you to be sad for me because I'm just off on my next adventure.
Oh, that's nice.
And yeah, that's the way he honestly saw it.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, he was a very adventuresome individual, always wanting to go out and do things. And I think I get it from him because my sister sure don't. She's not adventuresome at all. No. So she took after my mom more. I took after my dad more. So I think that's why I get in trouble a lot. 'Cause I always took after Dad. We
Well, you've
always
got
got in trouble together.
yeah, well, you
Huh?
got your motorcycle, right? So,
I do. Yeah. Just another thing I got from my dad.
okay.
So, but yeah, me and my Harley.
Well,
I
I'll be
think I'd
going.
learn. But
I'm going Mother's Day weekend for my motorcycle class so I can, get
are you?
get my license. Yeah, I've been wanting to do that since I was 16. And my daughter went and got her motorcycle license a few years back, and I'm like, well, dang it, why I keep waiting? So I've been. I had a friend. She's like, well, let's go do it together, and I'm like, okay. So you know what? I'm getting tired of waiting on everybody. So I just went ahead and I booked it, and I called my friend. I'm like, okay, these are the dates I'm going. If you want to go, go. But if you don't, I'm going. Because I'm tired. That has been something I've been doing. I have these people. Oh, well, let's do it together, and I'll wait on them, and I'll wait on them, and I'll wait on them. And
Mhm.
so I'm tired of waiting on everybody else. I'm just gonna start making things happen, and that's the reason I go and do like I do anyway. Is because I wanna see things. I want to do things, and if I keep waiting on everybody else, they're never gonna happen.
Exactly.
You have to make
Exactly.
time for
Now,
yourself.
you're absolutely right. Um, now, are you close to Miranda up there?
No, she's up in northern Tennessee, so that's quite it's about
Oh,
4.5 hours. Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah,
Who we're talking about for you guys out there? We're talking about Miranda, the ghost biker, and she's just as sweet as she can be. Sweet as she can be. Um, but yeah, she rides, and I told her when I saw her at the last Comic Con, I'm like, God, Miranda, we got to go riding. She goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm thinking, yeah, but when can we, I'm way down here, you're way up there, you're in the middle.
yep,
It would be great if we could all get together and go riding.
yeah. As soon as
But
I get
my
proficient at
my bike is it's so cool. It's a 1996
it.
Harley 1200. It's a
Okay,
Sportster 1200, and
nice.
it's so funny because I used to ride with a group of girls called the Thunder Angels down here, and
Nice.
yeah, we had a great time. And I always had to start my motorcycle last because it was so loud. It has Van Tine's pipes on it, so it's like super loud. As soon as I turn it on, it just kind of everybody else. So if you want to hear your bike, you got to start yours before I start mine.
Because I won't know if it started or not if yours starts first. So
Exactly. Have a lot of fun with it though. It's just it's been crazy though how people drive around here. Here lately, people just don't look. They
yeah.
it was the day before. It was Friday. It was Friday. I was driving because I'm a medical transporter and I drive people around for medical needs. We were coming from Dothan and oh my God, there was a motorcycle in front of us.
Hmm.
I mean, Sonia, I don't see how he didn't lose his back pocket. This car was so close to him. He just, it was like, I thought he hit him. I really did. And I thought, oh my God. I mean, talk about the skin of your teeth. This guy just about got it right
Wow.
there. And I thought, he's got to go home and change his underwear.
Mhm.
That would have scared me half to death. And I thought, but that's how quick it can happen, just like that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you
if
have
you,
to be really, really, really super careful.
yeah. Well, that's the reason several people have told me to make sure to get a bike, at least a 700. I got a friend that's got a 250 Rebel from '86 that I thought about getting just to kind of learn on, but they're like, no, you need to
Hmm.
go ahead and get a 700 at least.
Hmm.
So,
I
but
agree.
I was thinking about, Honda Rebel has a automatic now. Um, so I was like, well, and you could change it over to clutch too. I mean, you could still do it manually, but if you needed to, but I was thinking about just doing that, and getting something like that to ride, but I don't know. I mean, I like the Harleys. I like the Indians. I have such a hard time,
Oh
like
yeah.
deciding what I want to do. But I figure after I take the class, I kind of wanted to go ahead and get my motorcycle. But then I'm like, well, maybe I need to wait till after the class to decide if I want a manual or if I want to try to go get it automatic. So,
You know, I gotta tell you, there's nothing like hearing those gears change when you're changing those gears.
hmm.
There's just nothing like it. It's just, I love the sound of it. I really do. I love the sound of a Harley anyway. I was just raised around Harleys. They're just the coolest of the cool. So, but yeah, yeah, I do. But yeah, I don't really get a chance to go out now. I mean, got your work and it's like you have to squeeze all your toys in
Hmm.
and it can be really hard. And I've recently bought an RV
Nice.
and yeah, well, I was hoping so. I bought it from a friend
Uh-oh.
and it turns out that my RV is like a white elephant and it's probably going to cost me thousands to get this thing fixed.
Oh,
Thanks, guy.
that sucks.
Yeah, so that sucks. That really sucks.
It
That's all
does.
right. So I figure, well, yeah, you've already dumped all this money and I'm not going to get that money back now. He's got that money. He's not going to part with that.
Yeah.
So I've got, okay, well, I definitely got done dirty there. But you know what? I'm just going to fix this thing up and just going to have as much fun with it as I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
S- Yeah. And just like what you were saying, waiting around for somebody else to make the move, that's never going to happen. You got to do it on your own.
do. You do.
You
There's
know?
so many times in life that I've waited on somebody else, or I've had a good opportunity come up, but instead of explaining to whoever, hey, I got this wonderful opportunity, I hope you understand, I always held to my obligations, which is great. It's very honorable, but there's times in my life that I've not put me first. And so,
Yep.
and I've learned that it's not selfish to put me first and I always follow through my obligations no matter what. But it's just that the main thing is I'm tired of waiting on other people
Yeah.
to make things happen for me. And it's even like some of the movies and stuff that I've been trying to film and do. Everybody's like, okay, let's do this. And then I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then it's still not happening. When things don't happen after year after year after year, it's like, I just get discouraged and I got to quit letting it get me discouraged and just take it by the reins and just, move forward with it no matter how
Exactly.
hard to do.
Exactly. But look at what you've done with yourself.
Oh, I've done
And
a lot.
nobody can do that. Yeah. Nobody can do that for you but you,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
I've always
And
pushed forward. Yeah, no matter what, I've always tried to push forward with things and do the best job that I can possibly do when I do something.
and doesn't it make you feel good? When you sit back and you look at it and you go, "Wow, I'm so glad I didn't let myself down on that because this is something I'll remember for the rest of my life." I mean, this is fantastic.
Yeah. Well,
And I
do
did
I?
it. It makes you feel good.
Yeah, but do I have regrets about some things? Yes. I mean, I was told
Oh,
season 1 of The Walking Dead I could bring my family to set and let them see things, and I didn't do it because I was like, well, I don't want to do that because I don't want other people to think I'm special or or whatever because they can't do it. And so I don't know. I mean, I wished I had went ahead and done certain things like that. And um, so there's several things that I wished I had done this or done that, but you can't go back
sure.
and you can't change anything because you make
Right.
those decisions at that time. And I've learned that, what I've got to do for me and not
Mhm.
think about, I mean, it's always good to think about other people's feelings, but you have to kind of say, well, if they had had the opportunity to do the same thing, they would have done it.
Right.
They wouldn't have been thinking about your feelings or somebody else's feelings. They just would have just done it. But me, I think too much. I overthink everything. So that's part of my anxiety
Yep.
problem, I think. Um, but yeah, I overthink everything. And then I'm like, oh, man, I don't, if I do that, then that person's going to look at me this way or that way. And now that I've gotten older, I mean, I'll be 54 at the end of this month. And I'm like, you know what? Who gives a rat's ass? You know, it's like, I'm just going to if somebody gives me an opportunity like that, I'm not going to turn things down, anymore or try to think about, I mean, I want to think about everything because there's always consequences to every move you make in life. But I'm not going to try to think about so much about how it's going to, I don't know. I'm just going to start doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know exactly what you're saying. I'm a person who I have no problem, none whatsoever, telling people my age. I'm 65. I am 65 years old. And I took my time raising my family. I raised my kids. I did what I needed to do. And now I'm at an age to where it's like, the heck with that.
Hmm.
My kids are raised. As a matter of fact, they're right by my side. They're like, yeah, mom, let's do it. Okay. So now my kids are now my accomplices.
There you go. I figure my granddaughter's going to be like
Yes.
that one day. My granddaughter's going to say, oh my, yeah, yeah, let's go jump out of a plane. Okay. You know, I can see her doing that. Of course, when she's that, I'll be much older by the time she's old enough to be doing stuff like that. But she's she's a handful.
You can still do it. You can
Yeah.
still do it. Yeah, I've got a granddaughter the same way. She's got this amazing sense of humor. She's 8 years old. Her name is Ellie, and everybody that meets her is like, "Where did you get this sense of humor from?" And my whole family growing up has always been a very humorous family. We see humor in the most bizarre things, and we just sit there and just laugh about it when other people are like, "What are they laughing about?" Because it's funny. Believe me, a few months down the road, you'll see it. It's funny.
Exactly.
But my granddaughter has got that bit of a twisted sense of humor already at 8 years old. So I can see her fitting right in with the rest of us
Crazy stuff.
doing not so smart things. Yeah, why
Crazy
not? You
stuff.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. My granddaughter's 4 and
But
she's already riding a skateboard and doing cool things on her bike and she's got a bicycle and stuff. So I mean they took her last year. They were camping in Croatia for like a month.
oh,
And yeah, it was beautiful down there. And they took her kayaking. Yeah, so they all three were in one kayak and they went over like I think 7 waterfalls and one was 16-foot drop. Yeah, and she just loved it. She wanted to go back and do it again. Same way with roller coasters.
oh my God.
Yeah, they had to go on this one roller coaster twice because she loved it so much. I'm like thrill seeking, just like her mama, her daddy. Everybody says no, she's just like you. I'm like, no, trust me, my daughter and son-in-law are much more daredevilish than I am. So
Hi, Destiny. We love you
girl,
too. What you been up
whatever.
to? Yeah.
She had me
What?
on this show last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, she beat you to the punch, girl.
Yes.
Yes.
Destiny always does.
See, that's
She,
a woman that
she,
she doesn't wait. See, she just makes things
she
happen.
doesn't wait.
She does
Yep.
not. She does not wait. She makes things happen. If she happens to beat somebody to the
Yeah.
punch, she's good with that. She's laughing.
She is. I just got to start following her. It's like, what's she doing? I
Yeah,
want to
I
do
mean,
that too.
you got to learn from her. I mean, she's always doing
Yeah.
some cool stuff. So
She's
that's
so much fun too.
oh yeah, I love Destiny.
So
She's
much
great.
fun. Yeah. Um, have you gone on any of the paranormal investigations?
Well, I went on one kind of well with Destiny in a we did one down there at Deep South that time at a library. That
Oh,
was
that's
really
right. That's right.
yeah, I think that was really like my first official investigation. Now, over the years, I've done some. My brother had a paranormal team come into his house one time, but at that time, I was freaked out by it. I was like, I know there's something here. Now, I wasn't freaked out by the paranormal per se because I've always known that that existed and I've had experiences myself. But at that time, I I protected myself, but I didn't know how to really protect myself spiritually. It's not been until over the past probably 10 years or less, I can't remember that I've learned well, really in the past 5 or 6 years, I've learned better spiritual protection techniques. And
Yeah.
so that's helped me now. And but I have done some stuff here and there. I've always been able to walk into a house and know that there was a spirit there. I've heard
Okay.
them. I've talked, I've had them come and hover over me. I've felt the chills. I felt the person next to me or the spirit next to me. I've always been able to tell things like that. I'm an empath. I'm clairvoyant. I'm psychic. I've got a lot of gifts and, it's, but I always was just like, I gotta get out of here because I always felt like they wanted to, you know, like they wouldn't leave me alone and
Latch on. Yeah.
yeah, and so I kind of just ran away, and I actually shut off a lot of my intuitive type stuff. I was because people thought I was weird, things like that. So I would try to just kind of block that off because I didn't want to hear the things. I didn't want to hear the voices. I didn't want to hear, feel
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Um, but in the past 5 or 6 years, I've learned better techniques, and now I'm not as fearful as going in. And so when I go into a place and I feel something, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's something here, and it's not as big of a deal. and I know to tell them, hey, you stay here, you don't come home with me, leave me alone. That's something that I've learned. I can tell them to please leave me alone. I don't want to. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to. I don't want to feel you. You know, just get away from me. Give me my space. I know you're here, but so now that I've learned that I can do these things, I do those things. But I've been on a few little things here and there, but really and truly, my first investigation I think was down at Deep South Paracon with Stan and them and Tammy, Jeremy's wife, Leonard. Tammy, she had this little ghost thing on her phone. We set up in this top on the second floor, like I don't even know how much time went by, but when they told us it was time to switch floors and go outside and do stuff, we didn't want to leave. We were having good communication, spiritual communication, and we were having fun doing it. She is my investigation buddy. Um, and I just I just think I was so fascinated by some of the stuff that happened and was said on that thing. I was just like, holy crap, man, this is cool. This is cool. And I almost chickened out and
It
didn't
is
do it.
cool.
But you know what? I almost chickened out. I was just like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. Oh my God, they want me to be here all night. Oh my God, up until what time? Oh my, I don't know. I'll be around here because I think about those past times of, it's like, I don't know. And then I end up doing it. I'm like, oh, I can't leave, you know. Um, because we were having fun, but we had some good communications. But we didn't when we did go outside. We did. Blah, blah, blah. Let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. When we did go outside, we did have some communications with a little girl spirit, but it wasn't the same that we were having upstairs, so it wasn't as fun. But I actually showed this little girl spirit a picture of my granddaughter, and I said that she was in another country. And I didn't get to see her that much, and what word came across was weeping. So this, yeah.
Oh,
So they were sad for me that I didn't do that. And then another time I was taking a picture with my camera and the word smile came up. So they were smiling for the camera. So there was some really cool stuff that came up and it was really neat. And they seemed to relate to me on that level, I guess because I'm childlike. But but it was really neat. And then I've been in some other places thus far and I've had some experiences. Before I did that investigation, I spent the night up at there's a theater in Auburn, um, Illinois that Robin Terry owns, and he had Larry Mainland and I up there signing autographs, and we stayed. I think it was 2 nights up there, and
oh wow.
the last morning I was there, I sat in the old theater part, and I love telling the story because this was really crazy. Um, Larry was still in his bedroom asleep. I don't know where. I think Robin was in the front of the place in his office or whatever. His wife was upstairs. I mean, so I was the only one in there, and I back then I was doing these little videos. Hey, Sonia here, but I did that, and I was so goofy. But anyway, um, I was just like, "Hey, Sonya here. I just stayed 2 nights in a haunted theater. I can't believe I did it, but the hosts were great and the ghosts were even better." And so I go and I get the video. I bring it back. I go to review it because if it sucked, I was going to redo it. Because sometimes I'll do it 2 or 3 times until I get something I like. And as I sat down, I heard a little girl's laugh, and I was like,
Oh no.
I mean, if I had still been on video, I would have caught that, and you would have caught my expression of, "Oh shit," But it just freaked me out, and I was just like, so then I started videotaping some more, hoping I was going to get it right. Well, about 15, 20 minutes later, Robin walks in. Robin walks in, and he's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "You're not going to believe what just happened." And I started asking him different questions. I'm like, was this left on? Was this, trying to debunk it if I could? And he's like, come with me. And he takes me into this area, his little garage area, and he says, I gotta play you some, this audio that was picked up. I guess it's what EM, what is it, EVP or whatever. And he and there was these 3 paranormal investigators that investigated there, and there was a little girl's voice that was picked up, and the little girl goes, 1, 2, 3. And she counted the paranormal investigators. So it was really cool. And it looks like you're spinning over there. So, okay. Am I still on? Can people still see me? Or has it been completely disconnected? Because I don't see her anymore. So if you guys can still see me, send a message, I guess. Oh,
Sonia,
oh,
yeah, everybody can still see you.
okay. All right, cool. Because I'm just
So
like,
keep going. You're doing great.
okay. So anyway, well, I was just like, well, do I pick my nose now or what? Anyway, just playing. Um, yeah. So anyway, it was just really cool because, the little girl on the audio was counting the paranormal investigators, and I was like, oh my god, that's that same. It was about the same pitch of the like the laughter that I had heard. So that was really cool. So anyway, I kept talking because they said they could still hear me. Are you there, Debbie? Or are you still
No, yeah,
pondering?
no, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah,
So,
go
but
ahead.
I don't know if you got to hear all that, but I was telling them that the little girl voice on that was counting the paranormal investigators. And so, and that voice that I heard on there, that same pitch was the same laugh. It matched and everything to the little girl laugh that I heard.
Oh
So
my gosh.
yeah, so it freaked me out though. But I talked about that for a long time, and the new stuff that's kind of happened is up at Miranda's jail up at Scott County historic jail up there. I've been up there every time I've been up there. I've experienced something, either phantom smells or there were cell jail doors opening and closing up on the third
Cool.
floor. And then there was also like footsteps I heard and a disembodied male voice that yelled something out. But somebody else was talking. There was four of us in the little room we were in, and it was coming down the hall somewhere. So I couldn't make out exactly what he had yelled out, but we all heard it. I mean, it was crazy. Um,
Wow.
yeah. Um, and then I've seen other evidence and stuff, and from other people's things, and I've had some experiences myself. Just I've got this ghost hunting tool app on my phone that does words and stuff. And like today, I was up there in Homer, Georgia, at the old courthouse in their old jail, and there was a lot of stuff that came up today there, a lot of activity. And there's an old fort that I was at a week ago with my mom, and I cut it on, and there were some words that came up that matched some of the stories and stuff that was being told. Like
That's
this
so
one,
cool.
yeah. So I I went up to the Pickens County Jail when the ghost hunting housewives were there, Crystal and Carol, and they're so awesome. And I love those girls. And so I had went into there, and I had some little things that I felt there, but I didn't feel as much in the jail part as I did in the living quarters where the family would have lived, the sheriff's family would have lived. But
Hmm.
Crystal's like, I'm going to make you an investigator soon enough. I'm like, okay, if you say so. But who knows? I may be doing it at some point. I may get just on the bandwagon and do paranormal investigating. Um, when I was up at a Stump House Tunnel a couple of weeks back up in Walla Halla, South Carolina, apparently that is a very haunted tunnel. Um, I did not walk all the way back in there by myself. I felt like somebody was in there with me or something. I don't know, but I cut my ghost app on, and the word "out" came on, and I was like, "Okay, I'm getting out. Don't worry." Or or you guys wanting out? I don't know. So then some other words like priest came up and some other stuff, but I decided that when I got out of the tunnel at the entrance of the tunnel, I decided, well, since priest came up, I'm going to sing Amazing Grace. So I've done this in cemeteries before where I was in a Confederate cemetery and just broke out and started singing Amazing Grace. And, but I did that, and it just echoed down the corridor of the tunnel, and it just sounded so beautiful. And
Oh,
yeah, a couple words later that came up was hallow, like HALLOW. So I did the Lord's Prayer, and so I just did, so it was kind of cool. But um, yeah, I'm really fascinated with this ghost hunting tool app that I've got on there, and just seeing these words that come up that really match up to the space that I'm in. And so, yeah, I might do some paranormal investigating at some point. So
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. There people are coming up with some really amazing results these days. Um, and it makes me feel proud to be a part of the community because people are really doing good jobs at this.
they are.
It's not like they are. And it's not like the days of old where people are like, questioned about, yeah, but did you, it's not like that anymore. People are actually taking notice to it, and they're taking it very seriously as well as it should be taken. And they're people are coming up with some really good stuff out there,
Yeah,
and
they
I'm
are.
fascinated.
I'm fascinated by it
I'm
as well.
fascinated.
Some stuff I look at and I'm like, yeah, okay. Like
Hmm.
some of the TV shows and stuff. Um, I look at some stuff and I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. But
Yeah.
knowing people personally and what kind of, some of the paranormal investigators that I do know now compared to some others that I've known before or whatever that I've met here and there, I trust them and I trust what they're showing. If they can show me something and I can't, I can be kind of skeptical about things. I try to debunk things,
Yeah.
I really do. And my mom, we were at that Fort Hollingsworth in Banks County, Georgia, and we I had went into the old fort part. When it was decommissioned, it became a homestead. So there was a lot of families that grew up there and stuff. But I went upstairs it's got those little bitty stairs, to go upstairs and everything into the loft part and where everybody slept at. But I had already been up there earlier before we went back in there on the little tour. And I was standing on the stairs a little bit. I kept hearing movement up there, like things were walking around and all this. My mom says, it's just the birds. They're up on the roof or something. And I'm like, and every time it happened, I look over at her and she's, it's just, and I'm like, all right, mom. And I'm holding my phone. I'm holding my phone in my hand and it's going off like crazy. Like it's just like, coming up with all these words are coming up and it's going like it's got these little columns and they kind of bounce about, with the activity and it's green. And then all of a sudden it's orange, then it's red and it's all the way at the top, and it's doing that. And I'm doing this. I'm listening, I'm hearing that, and I'm doing this at the same time showing it to her and she's like her eyes are getting big and then she goes, I'm sure it's just the birds.
Hey, some big birds.
And I know there's nobody up there, because I'm standing on the stairs and I got so tickled at that, it was just so funny. But then afterwards, then she's telling this
Oh,
lady, well, my daughter's got this ghost thing on her phone and there was all sorts of stuff coming up. And I'm just like, Mom, you know, but
I thought it was birds.
but yet it was birds, and I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. Uh-huh. I don't think it's birds, Mom, but you know what? I can't tell you no, it's not, because what if it is, But
We
I
got
I
big
know that it was.
pigeons around.
I mean, I was up there,
Oh my God.
and but it was so funny. And but then I had my friend Atha with me. Um, we were at up in Northwest Georgia at I can't even remember the name of it right now. But anyway, there was a covered bridge up there, and the whole town's apparently haunted. And apparently, a witch had cursed nobody would let this witch stay at their place because she was a witch, and so she cursed the well, and so everybody got sick and people died and all this kind of stuff. And so that's one of the legends there and everything on that. But there was some activity over. I cut the app on near the bridge because there were some people that there was a lady that hung herself, and she had lost her kid and couldn't live. She couldn't live with herself anymore, so she hung herself on the bridge. And then there was somebody else that had hung themselves there. And at one time, the troops had during the Civil War had there was a lot of activity in that area, Civil War, during the war, and they had camped out there and stuff and had prisoners. And then there's some other stuff that happened there. But anyway, when we left there, and when I got to the well, there was a lot of stuff that came up there too that kind of was kind of like the curse. And then
Wow.
we went we wanted to go to these there was these two old churches, and they had graveyards on either side, the church, and then in the middle there was a whole bunch of there was a wooded area, and there was graves in there. So when we stopped, my friend's dad and my friend Atha, they went to the cemetery, the graveyard over there, and I went in the middle to the trees. And I had my app on, and I wasn't in there 15 seconds, and it started getting all red and doing everything. And I'm like, oh shit, And I'm sorry if I'm not supposed to cuss, but I was just
You're
like, oh my God, oh my God. And all these names are coming up, all these things. I mean, these were like people's names that were coming up. And I'm like, and then it'd go red again and it'd go red again. And I'm like, oh crap. So I stepped out of the woods. I'm like, Atha, I need you to come here, please. So she comes in there, and then it's not hardly doing anything. And I'm like, seriously, guys, seriously. I get her over here, and now y'all don't want to show out for her. Come to find out, we found a historical marker, and that was an African American cemetery. And so that's where
oh,
slaves were buried, and all it was very, very old and had been there a very long time. And that's so I was like, oh crap. And one of the things that came up on the thing was devil. It did finally start doing it again. But see, now my friend Atha is a very refined Southern woman, and so I think they might have thought that she was, over the household or something. So,
yeah.
they quietened down. But with me, they're like, hey, this is just redhead right here. She like us. You know, but it did start up, and it started talking about horses and different things, and it said the devil. And I looked over at her and I said, well, I do have red hair. So it is possible that some cultures thought that redheads were witches or the devil and stuff like that. So um, I said, they think I'm a devil, you know, so they're calling me the devil. And so that's what I felt like that reference was for. But yeah, there's a lot of activity on this there too. But man, I was hey, Dad, you need to get here now. I'm not going up in there anymore by myself.
Don't leave me alone again.
It's like, don't go off over there. You're supposed to be with me.
Oh my God.
So I've had some things like that happen, and I'm just like, even today, a few times it got in the red a little bit, and there were some words that came up today that was kind of crazy. Heaven spelled backwards came up today. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. And then hematias or hematous or something like that. Hemataus. That name came up or whatever, and I looked that up, and that's like well, some references was taker of the souls or touching of the souls or something like that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I like Googled it. Google everything on the internet's correct. Um, but it's an evil entity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, evil entity, toucher of souls. So, but this spelling is a little bit different than this. The spelling on here is Hematatas, and the one I had was at the end was Taus. So I may do maybe some further research on that and see if there's a difference, but um, but
It's
I
pretty
don't know.
close either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, still it's
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah, I
But
didn't
that's just not a
realize.
word that you just come across, you know?
It was some words like that that came up that I thought was just like, wait a minute now, this isn't like your usual leave or get out or um,
Exactly.
and one time when I was in front of the courthouse, this has been I guess last year, the word run, pray, and run came up back to back, and there was a man that was lynched and hung, that was hung right in front of the courthouse.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm wondering if he was maybe I got it caught in a loop or something where he was, running, he wanted to run, or maybe they were yelling at him, you better run and you better pray.
Run. Yeah.
Or I mean, I don't know. So
Yeah. It's
I just thought that
frightening
was
either way.
it was. It very was.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
sad. Yeah.
yeah,
God, how horrible.
yeah.
Sonia, I can't tell you how much fun I've had with you. You are just so much fun. You really are. I could go on with you for the next 3 hours,
Oh
but I,
no.
I think I'd hear I think I'd hear about it from Stan.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, probably so. And we have went over a little bit, but we had some little glitches, so
oh
um
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
Um, oh my gosh, I've had so much fun with you. I can't wait to have you back on. I just really can't wait. Um, thank you. A
Well, thank
thousand thank
you.
yous
Thank you for the
for
opportunity and
coming
having
on.
me. Yeah, thank you for having me on the show and stuff. I really appreciate it. It's been
Oh,
great.
it was my supreme pleasure, believe me. And when we get off here, I'm going to talk to you about one of those little minions back there
Okay. Absolutely.
because he's just too cute. They're all too cute. I don't know. So, everybody, our guest, Miss Sonia Thompson, the best of luck in all your endeavors to come. Um, you're such a delight. You really are just such a delight. Thank you again for everything, and
Thank you.
I would want to have you back soon again, if I may, because you're just too much fun. You really are.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed this. This has been great. Just what I needed for the day.
Absolutely. Everybody, thank you very much for tuning in with Spooky Things with Sonia Thompson. And everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday night at 7 Central, 8